Good morning to everybody here in Portugal. Good evening to everybody there in Australia. So today I have the honor to invite really empowered women. Her name is Gabriela Luersen, and we are going to talk about the impact of self-confidence in a woman. So this is going to be a really interesting live. I will invite Gabriela. She's already here. Just wait a little bit. Hello to everybody that is coming up for the live. Hello, Gabriela.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm feeling great. Here, I just woke up. I mean, it's the morning here in Portugal, and there evening. You're finishing your day, no?
Yes, well, this is the last speech, and then I have one more thing to do, and then it's over.
All right. Okay. So first of all, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to host you here as a guest and to talk about the impact of self-confidence in women. I know that it's been long years that you are studying psychotherapist. No, I don't. Do you want to present yourself? Maybe it's better
Oh,
for everybody.
sure. So my name is, as Alicia said, my name is Gabriella. I was born actually in Brazil. I live in Australia these days. Even though I am moving back to Europe next month, I've been studying the human mind for about 11 years now. I started as a very early, like in my early teens, in the books, and then later on, just getting into courses. Eventually, I went to uni, moved countries, and the passion was still there. And anyway, as all us women have been through ups and downs in our lives, and we all had very similar stories, actually, Alicia, with the years that I've been working with women and hundreds and hundreds of women that I talk to on a weekly basis, we actually have very similar stories. And after breaking through everything that I've broken through and keep breaking through, it really inspired me to then get out of the closet as a psychotherapist, as a mindset coach, and help women see in themselves what I see in them. And that's basically what I've been doing here in Australia, really helping women build their confidence, build so much self-esteem and self-worth, and then bring that into their business. Actually, I migrated from like confidence in life to bringing confidence into business, and how to actually make business from a place of confidence and self-worth. So not only you have your self-worth, but you have your business self-worth, and then with that you can sell, you attract women. It's just easy and it flows because you make it your way. So that's in the gist, that's what I do.
It's really amazing to hear about your experience, about all the stuff that you have been studying and the work that you're doing, and I think it's fantastic. For the ones that also doesn't know me, so my name is Alicia Ferreira. I am living now in Portugal, and I'm Portuguese, and I'm working with Tantra and conscious sexuality, empowering women, helping them to transform themselves, to conquer to rebuild their self-love, their self-worth, self-confidence, also self-image. So it's also really interesting now to mix us together and talk
Yeah.
about this, because both of us are empowering women.
Yes.
Gabriela, I would like to ask you regarding your experience. First of all, why do you think there's so many women, a large scale of women, in need of rebuilding their self-confidence and with lack of self-confidence?
Well, I think that's a very historical thing, right? If you look into our society and how we are raised in the conservative way, in the old ways, there's plenty of studies that show that, for example, in Harvard, the percentage of people that raise their hands, it's about 80% are men and only 20% are women. So even though, oh, these are, I hear men all the time, like, oh, sexism is over, women need to get over it. But in reality, it's so rooted in us. And I think our generation, we are just breaking through this. But like my parents that might be watching this, like, very sexist. My mom quite sexist. They always empowered me, but the underlying concept is always to be less, you're too much, you talk too much, women are crazy. And look, I'm not saying that men don't have their challenges, because I think they have just as many challenges as we do. But I think men are encouraged to be confident and to show off and to puff their chest and go forward. When if you look into culturally, and if you look into sociology and historically, well, women, we didn't even have the right to vote not long ago. So it's how are we supposed to have this ingrained in us that we have the right to think and to act and to do things? So it's really, really comes from like an old age. It's rooted in us, and we don't even know it's there.
Mm-hmm. I would say behind all of that, it's patriarchy. Since long centuries ago, has been women are used to feel that they don't deserve, they are unworthy, that they should not expose themselves, they should be more cautious and more quiet. And it's been centuries that this is happening, and the work and that we are doing and more women are doing is super important, because this will have a big impact in our relationships, whether it would be with a partner, with friends, with family, and then also in business.
Absolutely.
How do you want to share a little bit? How did you came through this? How were you before you conquer your self-confidence?
Oh, it's interesting. Like, I feel like my confidence has been through, it's almost like, okay, I'm going to start this by saying that I come across a lot of women. I talk to over 100 women every week, and I always invite them, hey, like, where do you think confidence would be beneficial for you in your life? And I hear sometimes some women saying, no, I'm confident enough, I don't need confidence. And that's also a mark that person is stagnated in their comfort zones, because if you're confident all the time, it straight away means that you are not getting out of your comfort zone, because whatever you start as a newbie, you are insecure on that subject because it's new. So I guess I grew up, I already had my mental health issues. Like, when I was on my teens, I was depressed, and I was never really diagnosed. But long story short, I was a bit suicidal, and I tried to commit suicide a few times, even though it has always been kept as a secret. And I was just bullied at school, obviously, and because I was curvaceous already from an early age. And I think that, and when I was about 16, I suffered some sexual abuse. My mind just computed as curves are not good for you, like, slim down. And with that, I started creating an eating disorder, and I had bulimia for 9 years, which has slaved the shit out of me. So even though I could be confidently speaking up and sharing my thoughts and ideas, I was extremely insecure when it comes to image. And women are all different. Like, some women, they're confident about their bodies, but when it comes to speaking up and doing a video, like, they freeze. So that was my journey. Obviously, after a lot of work, I overcame that. And then I put on a shit tons of weight, obviously, because I didn't know how to deal with it. And then I had the insecurity about my body then as well. I had to overcome that. But then my challenge was also when I opened my business. Women see myself these days confidently speaking on camera. I can handle anything. If you put me on the spot in that moment and ask me any questions, I'll be handling like a queen, really. Like, it's unshakable. But it has never been like that. In the beginning, I was very self-conscious about video. English is not my first language. And I was like, what if I make mistakes? Who will buy from me if I make a mistake? So my confidence journey actually has been gone through confidence to exist, to actually take space in the world, and confidence with to have my body and to own myself and to actually look myself in the mirror. Because for a couple of years in my life, I would have a panic attack if I saw myself in the mirror. Can you imagine that? I would have a panic attack. I think for 2 years in my life, I don't actually have any photos of me because I was terrified about having photos being taken from me. I could take selfies where I could control, but you can even ask my girlfriends, I swear to God, I'm not lying. I would panic if someone wanted to take a photo of me, and I would just run away because I couldn't deal with it. So I was constantly speaking up and saying my opinion, but don't you dare registering this person. I totally lost my train of thought, but and then eventually with my business, really, I had to break through the insecurity of selling myself, because if you're watching this as you're a business owner, one thing is that if you have a product, like a physical product, I have this nail polish right in front of me, and you developed and you know that this is the best nail polish there is on the face of earth because it has the best, it's easy to market this. But when you have your own services, when you're actually selling your intellectual property, all of a sudden you're just transferring your self-worth to your product. And then how am I going to put a price tag on it? That's why I work with a lot of coaches, consultants, service providers, yoga teachers, that they feel unworthy to put a price tag on their services, or they feel like they charge too much. And then what happens when they ask for the money from a client? They already ask knowing it's too much, and then subconsciously that person already feels like, oh, but this person is already certain about this price. Why should I be certain about? So can you see, I only teach these women these days because I've been through all of that, when I started in business. And please, if by any time, Alicia, I'm drifting because I get so excited with this thing, just pause me and we can come back to track. But just to conclude is, when I started my business journey, I was like, okay, I need a business coach. And I got the business coach. And I was like, this is the strategy you need. This is the strategy you need. I had a strategy to have an 8-figure business, but I didn't have shit confidence to do it. How am I supposed to do a business without confidence? How am I supposed to do a business without self-worth? And then I had to fucking do it my way. I had to hire 3 other people to help me be where I am today. And again, I guess that's why I do what I do, where I combine business coaching with mindset coaching in my programs. Like, we have 2 calls a week. One is mindset, how to be confident as fuck in all areas of your life. And the other one is strategies and business. So I think that has been for me, has been my journey. And look, I'm starting, for example, in the crypto space, and I'm insecure as fuck because I'm still growing. So it's really constant. And there's no shame on being insecure, but there's shame on hiding it, and also, not shame, I guess, shouldn't say that, but on just pretending it's not there. That's something that needs to be looked into.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So you have been going through a big journey inside of you, mainly, no? In my case, it was some years ago when I started, when I entered the Tantra, and first the Tantra, afterwards it came the conscious sexuality, that I realized I had no enough self-confidence, self-worth, a great self-image. I was also embarrassed about my body. I wouldn't accept my body. It was not that far as it was for you, but it had the impact in my life. And some years ago, I started to travel alone, by myself, backpacking, without anything planned. And for me, for instance, this was a big thing that also started to work, to help me to work on myself, to trust myself, because I would count only on me, on the other side of the planet, by myself, alone. And when I came to Tantra, I realized I had a lot of limiting beliefs about myself, about my worth, mainly my worth. And I think in that time, I was in need of external validation. And this is a big problem for most of the people, that they are in need of external validation to reassure their self-value. So they are, it's like they don't have a pillar inside of them, because if someone shake them, they already believe they are unworthy, they don't have self-love enough. So in this, I was, so first it came Tantra, afterwards it came the conscious sexuality, and I realized that and sexual energy is so powerful inside ourselves, and for human being, I think it's the most powerful energy. And in my case, as I worked in my sexuality in a conscious way, I regained my self-love. I cultivated my self-esteem, my self-worth, my self-confidence. And before, I used to say that I'm in my second life, because I don't identify anymore with the Alicia from the years before. So I also did a big journey on my own regarding this. So each of us has our own journey and conquered our own business also. Now you're working with this. I'm also empowering women with this. So it's really interesting path, I think, for both of us. How, in your perspective, how does women with low self-esteem, and low self-confidence are seen by others, and what is the impact in their lives?
Interesting question. I think there's two perspectives on that. I think there are the kind of women that they are insecure, but others don't see like that. So they are super insecure, for example, insecure about their bodies, insecure about their posture, insecure about their hair, insecure about whatnot. And they see it, yet others don't. You know what I mean? So I think that element to it. But then obviously there are the type when you are so insecure about yourself and you show it, that unconsciously, this is purely unconscious. If you ever look into, Alicia, into evolutionary psychology, it's all about it's one of my big, what I use in my business, in my psychotherapy, is evolutionary psychology, which is basically the way we think and the things we do subconsciously, when they were formed by the way we evolved. So if you demonstrate insecurity subconsciously, people will start taking advantage from it little by little, without even knowing. So it's not even a conscious thing, it's purely unconscious. But so a person that is insecure, I think there are two ways to be insecure. Those women that are insecure but they don't pass the idea that they're insecure, and then you have women that are insecure and they're constantly apologizing, being apologetic and self-loathing and putting themselves down. That's when I think it can be worrying. Both are worrying, but it can be worse because then they go to the workplace, and then because they're insecure and they don't believe in themselves, no one starts believing in them. And because they question themselves all the time, everybody starts questioning them as well. Or if a woman, and it's so interesting, like, to study confidence, because if a woman, she can be the hottest woman around, if she's naked, if she's insecure, the person that she's naked with in bed, let's talk about your area, right? They're gonna be like, oh, like, she's not that much, like, there's nothing much about her, or whatever. But then a woman that she might be overweight, or she might be super skinny, or whatnot, and she's confident, like, all of a sudden, wow, she becomes really attractive. So I think there's these two I've seen these two elements when you are insecure but no one knows, and then I think it's less worse. But sometimes when you start being mean to yourself in public, or just by your attitude, I think that's when people subconsciously start climbing over you and take advantage of you.
I would totally agree with you. In my case, for instance, the clients that are coming, some of them are really insecure, and they showed this to the people around. And there's the other clients that they seem like confident women, but inside they are not that confident. And they jump on my program to empower themselves towards sexuality, to take out the limiting beliefs. and the impact for me that it has in the personal life. For instance, a woman who is not self-confident enough, she won't be able to put limits in the relationship with other, so she is open or vulnerable for other people to go over her and to cross her limits, just like you were saying. And these women, they are not able to talk, to express their own truth, they are afraid to be authentic. And behind of this, there's the wounds, there's different wounds, the 5 wounds of the soul. But for instance, the main wounds, fear of rejection, fear of being abandoned, because they are so afraid that they don't want to show themselves out and be authentic, because they are afraid to lose this person. When it's like, for instance, a partner or something. Regarding family, sometimes also the difficulty in putting limits and allow the father, the mother, or even the children to abuse on the way they talk to them, on the way they judge them, and they are not able to talk and say, hey, this is my limit. I don't allow you to cross my limit. And this is so important. And especially in women that are very, they have like son or daughters, and they are not assertive enough, then this starts to happen. And the children, or when they are already adults, they cross the limits, and they do a lack of respect in the relationship with the mother, for instance. Also in work, for instance, then before I was when I used to work as a nurse, I didn't have any type of self-confidence on me, and I would feel that I couldn't talk with my boss. I couldn't say, oh, you crossed my limits. This is not the way you should talk with me. I'm not the one who is going to listen. You're screaming with me. And I couldn't say this. So I would like swallow all of, here in Portugal, we have a Portuguese expression, swallow frogs. I don't know if you have that in Brazil.
Yeah.
So, and this starts to have impact. For instance, it starts to block our throat chakra, because we are not able to talk out our truth. And relating the throat chakra with the sexual chakra, apparently they are not related, but when we relax, when we talk, when we expand our throat chakra, we also are relaxing our genitals, our vagina, and we can open our vagina. So the lack of self-confidence has impact in the way of how women are going to be open and relaxed and allow themselves to have pleasure also.
Totally. Yeah, it's 100% related. And I think that's why so many women just going on that diversion, they don't have an orgasm, because because you're not there actually enjoying. You're just thinking, oh, do I look fat in that way? Oh, does this look okay? How about the lighting? And then you're completely out of the moment, and you're just thinking about things rather than enjoying yourself. And I think that applies to many other areas of your life. Because what is that, right? It's taking you away from the present moment. The moment you're thinking about a parallel, I call fears a false expectation of an alternative reality. When we have that, we instantly we take us away from the moment, and we stop enjoying things.
Exactly. And also some feelings that are very common is that regarding sexuality, women used to feel a lot of shame, a lot of guilty, and a lot of fear also. So they are not able to open themselves, even to talk with friends about sexuality. Most of them think that it's a very intimate thing to talk about, our sexual life. So they don't talk about orgasms, they don't talk about how it went with this partner or with that partner. And this is something that sexuality is why we are here as a species, as human being. And keeping this as a big taboo It's like women don't they have no they are not conscious about how much pleasure of living they are losing for not working on their sexuality and for not working on their self-confidence also. For instance, you are a mindset and business coach. How do you, or which tools do you work to work on the women mindset?
Well, my work, it's been a mix of evolutionary psychology, which is humanistic psychology. I use spirited coaching on my coaching, and also obviously neurolinguistic programming, fundamental. And it's, look, again, I couldn't even tell you this because I've been studying it for like 11 years. It's a long ass time, plus all my life experience, plus my girls' experiences, plus a bunch of other things I read on health and physical stuff and Ayurveda and everything. And I think that's the whole. That's when you buy someone, a coach, a psychotherapist. I was just actually telling a friend how important it is to find the right professional that shares the same belief systems that you do and the same background, because if anyway, you gotta choose a professional that sees the world similarly to how you see, so the things they teach is relatable to what you believe. So basically, psychology can go away from its background, but also a lot of intuition. But basically, my movement is called Empowering Female Minds, because that's exactly what I do. I go there and I give the power to them. They come to me thinking that I'm gonna fix the whole thing, and I say no, I'm not. And they go, well, but I want to be like you. And I'm like, you're never gonna be like me. You're gonna be a much better person than me. You're gonna be yourself. And I see a lot of professionals and traditional psychology, including they take the power away from the patient, because traditional psychology doesn't see the human in front of them as capable enough of understanding themselves. So psychoanalysts, for example, Freud and Jung and Reich, they keep the knowledge to themselves and they just analyze it. Hence why analysis can take 10 years for a person to actually come out of it. When my work, it's a lot about bringing awareness, empowerment to the women that are in front of me, helping them come up with their decisions, helping them do what they want to do. Sometimes they tell me like, oh, I just want to do this. And I'm like, then go and do it. Oh, but I shouldn't. Why not? Oh, I don't know. Just do it. I don't know, but what's going to happen if I do it? Let's find out. It's like, maybe I will do something different, but you've got to go and do your own thing. And that's basically what it is. I say that if I empower my clients, I'm instantly empowering myself. Because if I'm just keeping my clients small, I don't have to outgrow them. But if I'm constantly empowering them and making them more, that means that I get back to me, because I need to level up as well.
Exactly. And the goal is I used to say, it's to give them wings for them to fly by themselves. 100%. That's the same thing that I'm doing with my clients, because I don't want them to be dependent on me, on my opinion, on my vision. I give them tools for them to be able to see by themselves. There is a question here. What is your opinion on NLP? And do you use it? You just said yes. And what's your opinion about it?
Oh, look, I'm gonna be a bit snobby. I've seen a lot of, I'm gonna be super snobby, whatever. Some people might hate me or not. I've seen a lot of people that they say, I want to be a coach. I want to be a therapist. Okay, cool. Great. Awesome. Everybody has the right to do it. But then they don't have really good people skills. They're just in it for the money. And I'm going to be super honest, and I don't care what people say. I think NLP became such a money-making industry, unfortunately, with all the courses, and extremely overpriced, and just kind of like just do it because of the sake of doing. Look, NLP, the knowledge is amazing, but I've seen a lot of people that are actually say has been an engineer for 30 years, something completely out of human mind, and they do a 5-day NLP thing, or even worse, buy something. I've seen online courses that is basically just whatever, and you get a certificate and they say, oh, I'm an NLP practitioner now. So I just think that unfortunately NLP has been overused and undervalued in the sense that anyone can claim themselves as an NLP practitioner. When, for example, you go to uni, I've studied uni for years, and then me using NLP actually has a lot of charge to that. So I love NLP. I think NLP is the future. I think NLP should be studied on schools, but I don't think everybody should have a certificate. Well, who am I to say? And that's why I say it's not, because who am I to say who should have or not? Because I know a lot of people that are amazing coaches and they don't even have one certificate, but they have an amazing interpersonal, intrapersonal intelligence, a lot of intuition and all that. So I love NLP. Obviously, it's a pseudoscience, but everything I do is anyway. Like humanistic psychology is not a science, spiritual coaching is not a science, but NLP is literally the future. But I think a lot of people, because they have certificates, they don't even know what NLP is because it's a 5-day thing and they didn't even have the time to acknowledge it. They say, oh, I'm an NLP practitioner, but they're just actually winging it and just counseling people. So that is my opinion. I love NLP. It's the future. I do use it all the time, but I've been studying NLP for, again, actually, I'm just about to move to Europe. I think it's already sold, and I'm selling all my books. And the first book I've ever touched in psychology is right there. I'm far away. I'm not going to pick it up. And it's an introduction to NLP. And I stole this book from my brother because he studied psychology at the time. Older. So I've been studying, and actually, so I've been studying the human mind for 11 years. My first book was about NLP.
Mm-hmm. So you're somehow saying that NLP is great as a tool, but not as a single tool. So the mindset, it's good for the mindset, but it's just one tool, and that it's better to have other fields to complete it.
Not even, Alicia. Like NLP is amazing by itself, but I think people are claiming, like, as if you could get an engineer certificate in 5 days. Oh, I'm an engineer now. I did a 5-day thing. Come in house with me. Like, look, they might have a lot of informal engineering background that they might build an amazing house. But what I mean is that by the commercialization and the whole hype that has been around, people that has never touched a tool, they do a 5-day course and they claim themselves to be engineers. I think that's it's a great tool. It's great to be an engineer, but you can't learn engineer in 5 years. In 5 days. That's what I mean.
I do understand. Before you touch a really important topic, which is to build our self-business. For instance, before, in some years ago, I had no idea that someday I would have my own business and working on my passion, which is now it's the best thing for me in this moment of my life. But before, because I didn't have a good self-confidence, I would never imagine or visualize myself in the future as an owner of a business. I wouldn't see myself. I thought it would be unworthy. I didn't have worth enough self-esteem enough. I would think that I didn't deserve this for me. Like it would be too much to be very ambitious for me. And this was me some years ago. And the last years when I was building this with all the work I've been doing when traveling, with Tantra, with conscious sexuality on myself, now I'm in a place that I have never thought before. So also some women that are in need to work their self-confidence, they can also achieve this situation to have to be owner of a business. For instance, for you, what's the difference for a woman who wants to start to be an owner of her own business without self-confidence, and what's the impact when this woman work on their self-confidence towards her business? Because that's what you're specialized in now. No?
Absolutely. I think that comes with awareness, understanding. self-awareness, self-understanding. And that's how my work is based, is understanding psychology, understanding how you work, understanding what's happening in your life. When someone starts a business, when I started my business, I opened my business. Cool. I have a coaching business, and then I would go out and people would ask me, what do you do for a living? I would say, oh, what do you do? What are you? And I would say, I'm a teacher. So before being a psychotherapist, even though I was already studying here in Australia, I was a kindergarten teacher. And I was like, I'm a teacher. And 4 months in my business, I'm a teacher. And because I was insecure about the business, but I was aware of it, because it's actually not an insecurity, it's just an identity. So it takes about 6 months neurologically for us to have an identity turnover. So even just starting from that, it's a very cool thing to know. For example, my clients, when they start a coaching business or whatever business and they're feeling secure, I just say, hey, you have 6 months to have this identity shift. And that happens all the time. I had a lot of identity shifts in my business. From, okay, I have my business and then I am the business now. Great. That was one shift. I have paid clients. Cool. That's a shift. And then I had another shift where this year I reached over $100,000 on sales in 6 months. And even though I was having amazing months, like there was a month that I did $39,000 on sales, I was still insecure about my business. Like, oh, what if people don't come? What if people don't show up? Because I still had the identity of someone that was just scraping by in the business. But again, I was all the way throughout it aware that it was not necessarily me, but it was just my identity and my shift that I needed to create. Obviously, the moment you can be aware of it and you know that, you can snap out of much quicker. But once you're in it and you don't still see the belief there, it's a bit harder. And again, that's also something I help my clients identify. It's also like an upbringing thing of self-loathing. I actually had a call with my clients recently about this. We have 6, I call it fucking traits, which is traits that we all have that brings us down. And one of them is the prophecy fulfiller. So you have your negative self-talk, like I'm not good enough, I'm never going to be successful, I'm never going to have a successful business. And you have that prophecy inside of you. And even though everything is working, you're getting clients, life is good, everything is going as you go, one day when something doesn't go right, see, I told you that I'm not good enough. See, this person pulled out. Look, 10 signed, but one person pulled out. Nah, I'm never going to be good in this business. And then they fall into that story and they let that story totally retard them from action. So it's actually having self-esteem in business is just, you have to be self-accepting that you're stepping into something new, like anything, a new relationship, a new work, a new business, anything you do, it's natural, as I was saying in the beginning, to feel insecure, to feel uncertain. I'm going back to Europe next month. I've spoken French fluently in the past, and now I haven't spoken French in 6 years, and I'm just like freaking a little bit out about it, like, oh Jesus, I don't know how I'm going to communicate. But I know that that's normal because I haven't spoken in so many years, and I have 100% sure inside every single cell of my body knows the moment I step on the country and start hearing French, the French will come to me. So it's also having this security and self-worth deep in your core, that as I hear my mom saying, I heard my mom I grew up with this, God will provide. That when it comes to shows, the universe, and I don't even want to call the universe because that brings the power away from you. To know that you got this, that when it comes to show and the time comes, you're gonna nail it. That's the confidence, because confidence is not knowing everything, it's not being able to do everything, because that's completely bullshit. If anyone sells that, stay away from it. Confidence is knowing that when the time comes, you have your body, you're like, when the time comes, I have everything I need inside me, and I won't block, I won't go blank, I'll be able to access all my knowledge to deliver. And that's the confidence in business. And then that's when you do sales calls that no one says no to. That's when you can do sales call very chill. Even if the person say no in your face, you're okay with that because you see how it's their lost. So there's a bunch of little things that how confidence, it goes into capturing leads. You capture leads completely different when you're confident. I don't know why I became sniffly all of a sudden. Or when you sell, confidence has a great impact. When you do a video, when you capture your clients, a lot of people think that when you get a client, that's it, that client is done. No, you need to make the client fall in love with you every day. It's like a relationship, and with confidence you are able to capture that and never stop and not get too proud about it, to think, oh, I've done everything I had to do, I'm finished my work here. No, it's staying curious. Did I answer your question?
Definitely, definitely. For instance, I see it as we live in this mindset of lack usually, and we are raised in this mindset of lack. And somehow, I think both of us, we are teaching our clients to connect with the abundance inside of them. So to trust themselves, that they have already the skills that they need to come out, to speak out. And if we think that we are nature, and we come from nature, just like the trees, just like the water, just like the fruits on the tree. So if the universe and if nature is abundant, then we are also abundant, and we should connect with this feeling inside of that, or inside of us. Because we are, for instance, a tree doesn't, she's not saving her fruits because she's afraid of lacking fruits for the next year. She's giving a bunch of fruits for the season. And so she's trusting her own energy. She's trusting that she has energy enough for this year, for the next year, for the other years. So she's trusting. So we should connect with our abundant nature also. For instance, when you are working with your women, what's the change and the transformation that you see on them and in their business?
First thing that I see is it's really this I would say self-compassion. To when they make a mistake, they don't see it as a mistake, they see it as a learning stepping stone. I have a very compassionate, even though I'm super sassy and I'm snappy and all that, I have a very compassionate approach to mistakes were made. Great, we want mistakes to make more mistakes faster, and you're gonna get where you want to get. So I think I see my clients starting with me almost like in a very anxious space, from like oh, super excited and euphoric, which is, I have a very cool emotion intelligence training, which anyway, the positive side of the negative side of joy is euphoria. So they come to me euphoric about starting their business, like, oh, I want to do all these things, and I'm going to be a coach, it's going to be amazing, I'm going to start making so much money, I'm going to help people, I just want to help people, and then the first challenge comes, and then euphoria, which is so high, starts going all the way down, and they hit a wall and they think, fuck, I'm never gonna get this. Obviously this is really related to women, not even in the whole, I don't have such a holistic approach, but in our cycles, like we have the time when we're ovulating and we want to do everything and we can, but we also have the time that we have our periods and the word is exploding. So I see women going through like this and then with me, they start getting really grounded, because I am extremely grounded. I try to be a bit woo-woo and up in the air. I can't. I'm very in this grounded, to the sense that even when my life is into shits, I just it's almost like the pilot is going, we're going through turbulence, just not, just sit back and we'll go through this. I see them having that kind of mindset, because hey, like, we never want to have stop. We don't want to have no problems. The moment you have no problems, you're dead. That's Tony Robbins saying. We want to have better problems. We want to have problems like, I have 5 million in the bank. I don't know if I should invest on real estate, if I should invest on crypto, or if I should invest in business. That's the kind of problem we want to have. So problems are positive for us. And I see my clients seeing problems just as stepping stones, as actually exciting things, and from a curious aspect. And again, that's extremely related to confidence, because if you're insecure and you have a problem, you instantly internalize it to like something you did wrong, something that you are, something that you're not actually warranted to that. But the moment you start being confident and you knowing that you are enough, that you might not know everything. Like I think it's, as I say in one of my trainings, right? Like resourcefulness is the biggest asset you can have. Is the most valuable skill you can have. For me, resourcefulness is the abundance, because you might not know anything. You might not know about marketing, but if you're resourceful enough, you can go there and pay someone to do it for you, or you can go there and be resourceful to find. So you might not even know the answers, but you can be resourceful enough to go and ask. And I see that on them. They creating this characteristic of play, of joy, of juiciness, to the sense that you don't have to take things so serious, you don't have to pressure yourself so much. This is one information that I had in the beginning of my career, which anyone can use that. Is I didn't have an experience. Look, I had studied for so many years, but I had never had experience with women. And I had this insecurity, right? I have exercises to do to overcome insecurities, and exercises to do to overcome your own objections. And one of them is to get something you're insecure about and empower yourself through it. So I had an insecurity. I have no experience. And then my empowerment around that would be like, I'm going to be the best coach in the whole entire world, because I have studied my ass off to know these things. And even if a woman comes to me and she asks me something, or she has a problem that I have not yet come across to, I will ask her to give me 5 minutes. I'm going to research my ass out on how to help her. So there's no problem that will come to me and I won't be able to fix it, because even if I don't know at that exact moment, I'm going to go out there and ask the whole entire world under the sun on how to help that girl. And that will make me the best coach in the world. So again, I was still owning that I had no experience, but having this fire inside you and resourcefulness to know that it's not that I'm not good enough because I have no experience. It's just because I don't have any experience yet. So I had to go there and find it. That's the changes in my clients. This disposition to be resourceful, to this disposition to learn and to be a better person.
It's really interesting. For instance, in my case, with my clients, when they rebuild their self-love, self-esteem, self-value, self-confidence, self-image, or get a better self-image, for instance, the impact that it has in their sexual life, for instance, they start to know how to put limits regarding their partners. They start to get to know their own body, their erotic spots, their orgasmic spots, start to explore other type of orgasms, start to be resourceful in their own pleasure. And they start also like to speak out what I do like, what I don't like. Please touch me this way. Please come with me, or let's try this. And they stop to feel ashamed, or stop to feel guilty for being like a more sexier woman, more seductive, without feeling like a whore, because this is a limiting belief that if we are sexy, if we are seductive, we seem like whores, and this is really limiting belief that I'm trying to that I'm working on it with my clients. So they start to be owner of their own pleasure and start to live life in pleasure, not only in sexuality but in life. If they want, if they say like somebody invite them for, like, say, a dinner, and they are so tired, and you would say all the time yes, for instance, to not fail to the person, but they will know that they will get to know better their energy, because they connect with their emotional body, with their energetical body, physical body, mental body. So they it's this alignment between all the bodies, that they get to know themselves, reconnect with their essence, with their authenticity, and they hear themselves and say no. actually today I'm tired, I'm going to fail to my friend, I'm not going to the dinner, but I will respect my own rhythm and my own needs. And also I do believe that is applicable to business, when we have to say no to some things, so we have to focus on our own business and our needs and our responsibilities. No?
Absolutely.
It's really interesting, this parallelism, because we work in different fields, but we are bringing them to to be aligned with themselves, both of us. And I think it's really amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gabrielle, the time is coming up. Is coming. I want to ask you, what are you now offering to women that are willing to work with you, and how can they contact you? Where can they find you?
I know that we had, we could talk, I think, for 3 hours or so. It's just a good, so flowy, and I was just like, Jesus, it's already 8:52. Well, what I do for women is really, I help women be successful through self-confidence, so they can actually magnetize their life and their business. The concept of magnetism is, it's not just the manifestation of, oh, I'm going to manifest things and now I can sit back and just not do anything about my life and just expect the world to follow my lap. No, but it's also about the evolutionary psychology side of things, to understand the psychology of the consumer and your marketing, and understanding how people perceive you and what exactly you need to put out there so they can actually magnetize. It's just subconscious work. How can you subconsciously be attractive to other people? This is basically the gist, plus the mindset, plus the strategies, how to get leads, how to make a video, how to run a webinar, what is the mechanics of it, how people can find me. Well, they can obviously follow me on Instagram here, or they can go into my Facebook. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest, my Instagram is a bit dead. I have the intention to grow my Instagram. I've never been good on Instagram. I'm improving, and I have a marketing agency to work. But if you really want to be involved to everything that's happening in and out, go on my Facebook. You're never going to miss out on anything important, because I'm always going to be sharing it on Instagram. I do have a webinar. Everyone is invited, actually, just women. If there are dudes watching this, I'm sorry, just for the girls. We have a webinar on the 18th of November, on Thursday. So not next week, where I'm going to teach you for 1.5 hours the concept behind magnetism, because it's, a lot of people think it's a woo-woo thing, but it's a lot of psychology. So for this 1.5 hours, it's a free thing, it's free training, where I'm going to explain you what's the concept behind actually become magnetic, and what's the reasons behind what I do, and how the things that I found throughout the years myself in my business, how I made 6 figures in 6 months. I have that there too, because I have magnetized the whole thing, and also based on my clients' experiences. That's the best way and the most feasible way, because it's free, to come get close to me and understand how my work works.
Nice. So people hear Gabriella and follow them or follow her. I participated in your 7-day challenge of magnetic confidence, and it was amazing. So I also recommended to some friends, and they also felt really amazing. So I really advise you to contact Gabriella. In my case, for the ones who want to work on Tantra and conscious sexuality, who wants to empower their self to take out their limiting beliefs and feel like, I have the program, the name is Awakening the Tantric Goddess, which is an online program for 4 months, and I will start next year. Again, the new group of women. I'm working individually and in group circle also. But before this, and I'm going now to do a small pause, because I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to do my own honeymoon with myself to celebrate my professional achievements because I deserve. And I'm going to nurture myself. I'm going to learn more. So after this period, I will come back with another group of women. to work on the sexuality. And people can find me here on Instagram, here in this Despertar Holístico Alicia, and also in Facebook as Alicia Despertar Holístico. But everything is on the link, is on the link tree here on Instagram. So, Gabriela, I don't know if you have something else to tell us before we finish.
Oh, I guess it's just for women. I guess I do have something. Women that are watching this, and hey, Akemi just jumped on. For women that you're not you're insecure, and you see people being confident, you see women being confident and doing this and that and this and that, and if you think, I'm gonna be a hard ass bitch, like if you think you're that special to think that you, oh no, I'm never gonna change, I'm always gonna be this person, like you are tremendously wrong. It's just a bit of inspiration, because I know a lot of people, oh yeah, sure, they can be confident, but it's easy to say, blah, blah, but it's actually work, man. Like it's a lot of work on yourselves. You know, Alicia and I and whoever it is, we were never born empowered. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, obviously some people are luckier to have a better upbringing than others, but everything is workable. I always say to people that it's not about being good or bad at something. It's about your willingness to get better. So, oh, I'm not good with this whole confidence thing. Okay, you're not good at it. Amazing, good awareness, but so that's it? I'm not good at it and now I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to go to sleep and forget about life? No, it's about your willingness to get better. Like, oh, I'm not good, like me. I'm actually, for example, I don't like doing my taxes. I don't like doing my accounting. I hate it. Numbers, I'm very good with numbers, but I don't like it. Oh, I'm not good with my organization, with my finances. Okay, Gabby, so what? You're just going to let it be a fucking mess? No, it's about your willingness to improve it. So it's really, if any area of your life, whoever's watching this, any area of your life that you feel like I'm not good at this, because this is an insecurity, right? I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. And then every time you do something wrong, you say, see, I said that I'm not good at that. And then before that even happens again, you go, oh my God, this is going to happen and I'm not good at this. Just be aware that it's not about being good or bad. It's about your ability to improve it, your ability to get better, your ability to ask for help and have 1% improvements every day, because after 100 days, you're going to be 100% better. And also, to put the cherry on top of this, is allowing yourself time. You know, I see women self-loading for 20 years, believing that they're not good enough for 20 years, and then, oh, Gabby, I've done personal development for 3 weeks and it didn't work. No shit. Like the neural pathways that have the limiting beliefs, when we have a neural pathway, there's something called axons around the neurons. And axons is like a layer of fat. The older that belief is, the older the neural pathway is, the thicker the axon is. So that means actually, when you stop using that neural pathway, it needs longer for that axon to burn that fat and finally dismantle. So even if you have a limiting belief, if you had it for 20 years, that bitch is thick in your mind, and you need to really stop using it for a longer period of time and using other pathways to let that go. So also give yourself time, because with my eating disorder, I had it for 9 years, and I would do like a 1 week thing and go like, see, I'm never gonna get better at this. I'm gonna be sick for the rest of my life. I'm probably gonna die early anyway. But like, come on, 9 years of an eating disorder, you're expecting you give yourself 1 month to get out of this? So if you're insecure in any your life and you're putting yourself down, I'm not good in business. How long have you been running a business for? Oh no, I have never had a business. Then no wonder why you're not good in business. You never had a business. How are you supposed to be good in business if you haven't had a business? So see, it's like, oh, for 1 month I don't have any clients, but it has been 1 month. It took me 1 year to actually start making profit, and then boom. It took Apple 40 years to make $1 trillion, and then only 1 year after that to make $2 trillion. So it's the mindset that it's, you know, we are so immediatelists. We want everything now because we have buttons. We can buy flight tickets. We can change things all the time in a click of the button, and we forget that the mind doesn't work like that. So again, summarizing, don't think you're too special, that you can't get better, that you, no, everybody can, but not me. I'm old, I'm young, I'm this, I'm that. Like, you're not that special. Let's start with that. Like, you can also get better if you want to put the work in. Second thing is that allow yourself time to do it. Like, I want to get better. Okay, I can put the work in. Great. How long am I giving? I always say at least 6 months, which is the identity shift you can create in your mind. So, and really to know that everything that you want is already yours. You just really have to step into that. And stepping into that means doing the work, means growing, like being modest but humble. Always like empowering yourself, but being humble to know that there's always something else to learn.
Mm-hmm. That's it. I totally agree with you, and I would add also that is never late enough in our lives to start to find out and to dive into our own essence, to find out this confidence and to learn how to live in pleasure, to enjoy life. Because for me, life is not here just to see it passing by. For me, life is to be enjoyed, is to be challenged, is to grow up, is to develop, is to expand consciousness and expand the love that we have inside and the smile that we have in our face.
Absolutely.
So I invite everybody to go on this work within themselves, and if they want to contact me or Gabriella, we are here and available. Gabriella, thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to have you here.
So good. It passed so fast. I feel like I just sat here.
Thank you so much, and see you soon. Next time, more close to me here in Europe. Yes. So welcome to Europe soon.
New Year's Eve in Portugal, and maybe it's part of January as well.
Interesting.
In Porto de Madeira, Ilha de Madeira.
To Madeira. Yes, you're going there.
New Year's.
Great.
And I don't know where. I'm just trying to escape the cold, really. So, but
so we will talk soon. Yes. Okay. Thank you to everybody that was here in the live, and the ones that participated. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.